Nigga Pac was strapped, but I'm dreaming Las Vegas Boulevard, a Phoenix sun, bullet scars. Everybody king of diamonds till the feds pull their car. Not the deck though. Hip hop.
It's time for an album review. The game, Jesus Piece. The game is a California rapper from Compton. Started blowing up in about 2005 with his first full-length debut LP, which was the documentary. Since then, he's released 5 albums, including Jesus Piece, which were The Doctor's Advocate, LAX, and the Red Album. The game stylistically comes across as sort of thuggish, hard-headed style that NWA invented all those years ago. I'd like to talk about the album artwork quickly. The game, with this album artwork, as you can see here, has gone for a picture of Christ but black with a bandana over it. After listening to this album, I think the themes of this album are captured pretty well in the artwork and are similar to Kendrick Lamar's Section 80 or Good Kid, Mad City, with religion and crime being the main themes of this album. Where the game album differs, is that crime and religion are side by side, and that dichotomy is always, it's often dropped in by the game. He always, will always drop in the whole idea of crime, religion being together with whatever he says. But he never really questions it, and lyrically in this album, the game pretty much comes across as he always does, with that, his normal sort of simple, thuggish style rap with the name dropping. So, yeah, let's get into the album. So I'd like to talk about the title track first, which is Jesus Piece. There's a couple of things I liked about this song, which were that the game refers to Biggie and Tupac and kind of, I guess, lazily shows their kind of figures of Christ, or, they're saviours to the rap game, or were saviours to the rap game. They both Common and the game relate back to their past, and it's like as if throughout where they've been, past or present, they have always had their faith, or they've always been they've always had a Jesus piece, but it may not necessarily be physical. It's it's basically saying they've always had their faith. I prefer the Common verse on this. He talks about having dinner with bottom feeders to going to world leaders, and I think it although he's talking about the Jesus piece empowering him, I feel it's not empowering his faith. I feel he may also be saying that it empowers him and it makes him a godlike figure, which I also felt with the end skit with this, where there's the guys talking about the Jesus piece, one of the guys talking about the Jesus piece he's just got, and his friends are replying, kind of laughing and joking. It kind of suggests that religion's lost, and it might be a power thing that they get from wearing it. Next I want to talk about Pray, which was the standout track for me. The game consistently stays on topic, which we made a nice change. He talks about a girl he used to know and the path her life went down. He painted himself as her guardian angel. It's a track about women being kind of downtrodden. I also liked the beat on this, with the muffled sort of beat, and the guitar chords and the echoey synths. I think it all sounded nicely. It went together well with what was being said. Next I'd like to talk about Ali Bomaye, which in the instrumental I really liked when it fully comes in. It as far as topics go, not much is being covered, other than the games talking about being from Compton. Obviously Ali Bomaye means to kill someone, so they'll talking about him being tough and stuff. I guess is anything you can refer to killing. 2 Chainz and Rick Ross in this track. Rick Ross just does a normal thing, 2 Chainz does a normal thing. However, on the beat, 2 Chainz does sound great. So that brings a little redemption for 2 Chainz. Next I'd like to talk about Church. Pretty trashy song. However, it was not a complete waste of time, as I did like the little references to, obviously, because they're talking about going to a strip club, going from church to a strip club. I do like the references, with obviously keeping in theme with the artwork. Like, she's going to climb back up that pole to meet Christ. I'm going to crucify that pussy. She's thicker than a Bible. So the track wasn't all lost there. Though, it wasn't a great track, but it was alright. See No Evil, which I also thought was a really good track on this album, in comparison to the rest, other than Pray. Is a good. Yeah, I think even the game did an alright description of what it's like to be in Compton, and how people see no evil, because evil's there on a daily basis. Kendrick Lamar's verse was great in this, talking about how talking about, Compton is a place of fire and bones. Also, that resembles kind of like the stereotypical depiction of hell, which I quite liked, and also the one of Kendrick Lamar. Also, I quote Kendrick Lamar on was, "The dark clouds soon got watered down as soon as I spray my first chop around." So the evil around them kind of consumes them, I guess. I kind of liked this beat. I liked the vocal sample, and I liked the sort of like bassy sounding synths on this. What do we got next? Can't Get Right. I liked K Roosevelt on that. I previously heard he was going to have Frank Ocean on there to sing it. Either would have done the job alright. I think K Roosevelt does the singing part fine, and obviously the song is the depiction that the game is only human. He can't get everything right. However, the track just really did bore me. He's not really saying anything different. He talks about Dre, in the 50 Cent feud, whatever. It doesn't interest me. RG Unit really relevant anymore in the rap game. Why is he still holding on to this? Hallelujah with Jamie Foxx. I like that song. I like the instrumental as well. I like the gospel choir. I like the live drum kit sound. Kind of like puts you in church. With the song itself, it's just kind of, it's a bit cheap, but at the same time there is satire in there that can make you chuckle a bit. So that was an alright track. Freedom as well didn't really stand out for me. And also with Freedom, there was really annoying high-pitched vocals in the instrumental. It is really obnoxious to listen to. Also, there's a couple more negatives to this album. All That Lady is a track that shouldn't even be on there, because obviously it's not even relevant to the topic they're talking about. The verse from Big Sean talking about Toy Stories. And also the last verse, which I can't remember who it's by, just fades out halfway. I don't know why it's faded out halfway. Heaven's Arms was another track I didn't really like. It was the only track with the game on his own. It bored me pretty quickly. He's just talking about excess and how maybe his fame is kind of godlike and he's in heaven's arms. But at the same time, I kind of thought he's creating a paradox, because although he's saying this fame is kind of making him, he's in heaven's arms, a lot of things in heaven's arms seem sinful. I don't know if you meant to do that, but it didn't seem that way. So it kind of made me chuckle at that. Name Me King and Who's Scared Now, or Scared Now, the kind of tracks I thought were just there to kind of fill up time. They're just talking about being on top of the rap game. They're not really that relevant. They talk about sinning a bit, but it's really not relevant to the rest of the album. Pusha T sounds good on the track with the catchy kind of hook. Other than that, I think we are done. I give this album, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a strong 5. It was a decent effort from the game to kind of adopt a different look at things. He didn't change himself up stylistically too much. However, there's a couple of highlights in this album where I thought, oh, this is alright. It is pretty inconsistent as an album, but I think some of the features help to keep this album afloat, so I'd probably give it a strong 5.